A new trailer for The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom came out today, and I am very hyped. I made a video last year about how a new 2D Zelda could work, and some of the ideas I tossed around were actually kinda accurate to how this game looks. This trailer has a ton of interesting details, and I'm gonna break them down right now. Firstly, the map in the background of the opening of the video seems to be a more in-universe type map of this game's Hyrule, which is reminiscent of the Hyrule of Link to the Past and Link Between Worlds. It's very blurry, but you can see Hyrule Castle, what is most likely Gerudo Town in the southwest, and something where the Eastern Palace is in A Link to the Past. This is a stretch, but it kinda looks like the Tri-Rod between some hills. Next, the castle soldiers have the same kind of armor as the soldiers' armor in Breath of the Wild. The narrator describes the castle as sitting on a central plateau, which is interesting. The use of the word plateau reminded me of the Great Plateau, which is said to be the birthplace of Hyrule. There are several things in this trailer that make me wonder about when this takes place in the timeline, and which I know some people will be annoyed at me for even bringing up, but I do want to talk about it, so I'll save that for the end. Okay, now we get into the coverage of most new locations. First is the Gerudo Desert, which marks its first appearance in a 2D game. The Gerudo have almost the exact same designs as they do in the two most recent games. The next scene shows what I think are blue Tektites, a common enemy in the 2D and 3D games. The narrator also shows an oasis, which has a pond that is almost the exact same shape as the one at Kara Bazaar in Breath of the Wild. NPCs also react to echoes being created near them, which is a great touch. Next is a brand new location for Zelda, Jabul Waters, obviously named in reference to Jabu Jabu or Jaboon from Ocarina of Time and the Wind Waker respectively. A water Tektite is also seen here. I think Jabul Waters will span a large part of the map since they're home to both Sea Zora and River Zora. There are two kinds of Zora in Labrynna and Oracle of Ages, but now both kinds of Zora are seen at the same time in Hyrule for the first time. We also learn the name of the River Zora king, Drad, and the narrator teases what the two tribes are fighting about, so I wonder if it has to do with the main story at all. Maybe the two tribes think the other is the cause of the rifts. Now we cut to Death Mount... Elden Volcano? Why is this called Elden Volcano? The only other appearance of Elden Volcano is Skyward Sword, and everyone was pretty sure that Elden Volcano was just Death Mountain before it got that name. And Kakariko Village is at the foot of the volcano, like how it's at the foot of Death Mountain in so many other games. So, I'll get into this more at the end. Anyways, we see climbable walls similar to those seen in the Minish Cap, and there are mole dorms that look similar to the boss variant from Link's Awakening. There are also some fiery enemies that might be new, but I'm not sure. We also see the Gorons, confirming this as another rare 2D appearance for the tribe. We see a Goron named Darston as well, who might be important. He's talking about rock roast, which returns from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom as an important food source for Gorons. Faerun in this game is now a wetland, which is a departure from its woodsier ecosystem in other games. This is to make it suitable as a home for the Deku Scrubs, who lived in a swamp in Termina in Majora's Mask. They also now have a penchant for dessert, which is cool, I guess. This guy says that his cotton candy is made out of spider webs. I hate that. Now we're introduced to a quest system, which returns from Breath of the Wild and is brand new for 2D Zelda. We're even treated to the name of a main quest, Ancestors' Cave of Rest Rift, which presumably involves a rift inside a Gerudo location called Ancestors' Cave of Rest. The next scene shows a side quest, and it seems like the person calling for help might be a fan of Link? The green tunic, belt, and blonde hair seem to suggest it at least. Side quests and main quests are also differentiated by having different colored objective markers. The adventure log is also opened, showing 3 other main quests: a rift in the Gerudo Desert, searching for everyone, and a completed quest called The Mysterious Rifts. It also shows the description for the earlier quest, showing that Zelda has to relight some torches. Now we see the side quests, and while they aren't too interesting, we do see 2 new locations called Southern Village and Southern Forest. Judging by their incredible names, I assume they're in the southern part of Hyrule. During this section, I also noticed that most NPCs don't have names, so I guess only important ones do. Also, is this a wanted poster for Zelda? I think this is in Castletown, judging by the stone circle in the top right, so this coupled with the shot of someone taking down castle soldiers in the reveal trailer might mean that these soldiers are under Ganon's control. Waypoints are revealed now, and most people figured these would be waypoints in the previous trailer. When we see a shot of the map though, we actually find out where Southorn Village is. It's just east of Southorn Beach, which seems to just be below the Gerudo Desert, judging by the cactus drawn on the map. And what a surprise, the Southorn region is a southern region. Nintendo, you've really outdone yourself with this one. It also seems like Zelda may not take fall damage, because she jumps off a high cliff here and is completely fine. And we now see that you can have horses in this game. Awesome. Seems like you can't use echoes while on a horse, but it can run over small enemies and jump small heights, like in the 3D games. You can summon it at any time by using a carrot echo, which is a fun Ocarina of Time reference. There's even a cooking system like Breath of the Wild, except it's exclusively for smoothies. The main takeaway I have from this is that I don't know if empty bottles will be in the game. The icon for making a smoothie shows it in an empty bottle, but I don't know if that means you can only hold a limited number of smoothies or not. We also breeze by an entire accessories feature, which shows Zelda buying the Zora flippers for 350 rupees. We see that the flippers make you swim faster, a Zora scale to make your underwater breath gauge last longer, a heart pin to make hearts appear more when you defeat an enemy, and a frog ring, which makes your jump higher. This confirms that jumping is a default ability as well. There's also a flower which has a similar effect symbol to the heart pin, so maybe it makes enemy materials drop more. There are also 3 outfits that seem to just be for aesthetic purposes, with the one new outfit being a Gerudo outfit for Zelda. Finally, the last minute or so is spent on the bind ability, which is a pretty complex thing to manage from how it looks. I won't spend too much time on this because it seems like something I'll have to play to really understand, but there are some other new nuggets of info here. Firstly, while a lot of people are comparing bind to Ultra Hand, I'm seeing it more like the Dominion Rod from Twilight Princess. There's also a new spider enemy that you can use to climb up walls, and there's a mole enemy that can dig holes that you can then drop enemies into. It also seems like bind can be used on both echoes and non-echoes, since Zelda drops a moblin into the mole's hole. The final seconds of the trailer show monsters being created from the rifts, the Gerudo chief of this game, and of course Zelda entering a rift through a hole that Tri creates. The imagery of the rift kind of reminds me of the walls of Twilight in Twilight Princess, though I doubt there's any connection. And I was gonna start wrapping up here, but as I was writing this video, some new images got released on the website for this game. So here's just a quick summary of the most interesting ones. I'll link the website in the description. First, we see the King of Hyrule, as well as what seems like a guard captain and a royal advisor with blue hair. We saw this advisor character in the first trailer as well. There's also an image of some Goron elders in a cave, which again reminds me of Twilight Princess. And finally, there's an image of a fishing village, which might be Lurelin or it might be a new village with a new name. I know the timeline has been thrown out of the window since Breath of the Wild, but I just want to talk about this for a second. Why is Death Mountain called Elden Volcano in this game? Why? Why if not to draw a connection to Skyward Sword? But that doesn't make any sense. Why are Gorons living there? This is basically the same world as A Link to the Past, right? Did they make Elden Volcano and Death Mountain separate things? The right side of the map is the only thing that really looks like Link to the Past. Everything else looks almost completely new. So maybe we're not in the Downfall timeline. But there's no way we'd be before the timeline splits again, right? Everything was fine before to slap this game in the Downfall timeline, but then Nintendo had to name it Elden Volcano. See you in the next video. And if any of you come in the comments saying that you've just changed your legal name to Elden Volcano, I'm gonna have a mental break.